Hi, this is Matt and you're watching PowerPoint Math. In this video, I will explain the laws of exponents. The law that I'm talking to are the following. It might look very hard, but don't let the look of this fool you. Let's start with this one. Most of you probably know about this, but hey, let's explain it anyway. This law states that any variable or number raised to the power of 1 is the variable or the number itself. Here's an example. 4 raised to the power of 1 is just 1 times 4, or you simply write 4. As you can see, the answer is still the same. 4 is still 4. This law states that any number or variable raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So if I have a number, let's say 4, then 4 raised to the power of 0 is just equal to 1. Okay, now you know that any number raised to 0 is just 1. You also know that any number raised to the power of 1 is just 1 times the number. And you might also know that a number raised to the power of 2 is just like saying 1 times a times a, right? Because that's how exponent works. Exponent simply means how many times you multiply a number to itself. So if I have a raised to the power of 3, then that's just 1 times a times a times a. But what if I have negative exponent, such as this? How do I express that? That's where the next law of exponent comes in. This law states that a number or a variable whose exponent is negative is just equal to 1 divided by the number or the variable raised to a positive exponent. Take note of the word divided. So if I have this, a number raised to the power of negative 1, then that's just 1 divided by a. Similarly, I can also have it in fraction form. Same goes with a raised to the power of negative 3. That's just 1 divided by a divided by a divided by a. Or in fraction form, that's just 1 over a raised to the power of positive 3. Here's another example. 4 raised to the power of negative 3. By the law of exponents, that's just 1 divided by 4 raised to the power of positive 3. If I have 7 raised to the power of negative 5, then by the law of exponent, that's just equal to 1 over 7 raised to the power of 5. Now, we are done with the first 3 laws. Let's proceed to the fourth one. This law states that a number with exponent which is raised by other exponent is just equal to the number raised to the product of the two exponents. Here's an example. Here, I have x raised to the power of 4, which is then raised to the power of 2. So if we follow the law, then we just copy the base number, which is x, and multiply the exponents. 4 times 2 is 8. So this is just equal to x raised to the power of 8. Not convinced? Then let's have it this way. X raised to the power of 4 simply means 1 times x times x times x times x. And since we have to raise this to the power of 2, then that means it must be done twice like this. Now how many x's are here? That's just equal to x raised to the power of 8, which is similar from the method we used above. Here's another example. Again, copy the base, so that's just 3. Then multiply the exponent. 2 times 3 is 6. So the final answer would be 3 raised to the power of 6. Here we have 4 squared raised to the power of negative 2. So again, just copy the base number and multiply the exponent. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So the answer is 4 raised to the power of negative 4. And since the exponent is negative, we can apply the previous law. So that's just 1 over 4 raised to the power of positive 4. Now we're done with the 4 laws. 4 more to go. Let's proceed with these 2. This law states that if you are multiplying a number with exponent, as long as they have the same base, then you simply copy the base number and add the two exponents. Here's an example, x squared times x cubed. Again, since their base is the same, then you simply copy their base, which is x, and add the exponent. That's just 2 plus 3, and that's equal to 5. So the final answer would be x raised to the power of 5. Not convinced? Then consider this. X raised to the power of 2 is just x times x, and x raised to the power of 3 is just equal to x times x times x. Now that's just multiplying 5x, and this is just equal to x raised to the power of 5, which is similar to the method we used earlier. Here, I have 5 raised to the power of 4 times 5 raised to the power of 3. Since their base are the same, then we simply copy their base, which is 5, and add the exponent. 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. Thus, this is just equal to 5 raised to the power of 7. The next law is very similar, but instead of multiplication, we're doing the opposite. According to the law, if you divide two exponents with the same base, then you simply copy the base and subtract the exponents. Here's an illustration. I have 2 raised to the power of 5 divided by 2 raised to the power of 2. According to the law, if their base is the same, then simply copy the base. So here we have 2. Then we subtract the exponents. 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. So this expression is just equal to 2 raised to the power of 3. Not convinced? Here's a proof. 2 raised to the power of 5 is just 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Now 2 raised to the power of 2 is just 2 times 2. Now if you still remember, in division or in a fraction, two factors that are similar can be cancelled out. So we can cancel these numbers. Now how many 2's remains? That's just 2 times 2 times 2, which is just equal to 2 cubed or 2 raised to the power of 3. Okay, we're almost there. Let's proceed with the last two laws. According to the law, if we have two different variables which is raised by an exponent, then you simply distribute the exponent to each variable. Here's an example. I have x and y, which is raised to the power of 3. If we follow the law, then you simply distribute the exponent to each variable. That's just x raised to the power of 3, y raised to the power of 3. Not convinced? xy simply means x times y. Now since the exponent is 3, then we have to repeat it 3 times, just like this. Since multiplication is commutative, we can then rearrange it this way. Now here we have x times x times x, and that's just equal to x raised to the power of 3. Here we have y times y times y, and that's just equal to y raised to the power of 3. As you can see, the answer is just the same with the above method. Here's the last law. Dividing two variables which is raised to an exponent is just similar as distributing each exponent to each variable. Here's an example. Quantity x over y raised to the power of 2. If we follow the rule, then we simply distribute the exponent to each variable. So that's x raised to the power of 2 over y raised to the power of 2. To prove that it's true, then let's consider this. We have x over y raised to the power of 2, meaning that's just similar as x over y times x over y. Now x times x is just x raised to the power of 2, and y times y is just y raised to the power of 2. As you can see, the answer is the same.